Hey, what's going on? Dan Vass here again, and welcome to the next video in the Freedom Goal Setting course. This is a free course that I'm doing on my YouTube channel. It talks about how to set massive, amazing goals that you can actually go and achieve. Now, one of the biggest problems people have is setting goals. They don't know if the goals that they're setting are actually the goals that are proper to them. They also don't know how they can possibly set massive goals and then how to break them down and achieve them. The method I'm going to show you here in this video is honestly revolutionary. It's something that I've learned early on in my entrepreneurial career, and this has allowed me to build multiple multi-million-dollar businesses. It's something that honestly every single person who has become a millionaire, every single person who has built any great company has used, and it's called goal chunking. And definitely you should have watched the previous videos in the goal setting course to make sure that you're on track, you've already set your goals, you know what your 2-year vision is. If not, that's fine. Stay here. I'm going to show you how to do that and how to get up to speed quickly so that we can actually go and start practicing goal chunking. In 2017, only a few years ago, that's when I first got into entrepreneurship. And back then, just like yourself, I was looking for a way out of my 9-to-5 job. I was looking for a way to travel the world and make money. But I also wanted to become an extremely successful entrepreneur. At the time, I was only thinking about my first 6-figure business and even maybe my first 7 figures. 6 figures is 100,000 per year and 7 figures is $1 million per year. At the time, and maybe this is where you're at right now, I was reading a lot of books like Think and Grow Rich, The Secret, a lot of books that talked about the law of attraction. And so, I just finished reading all these books, and these books told me, and they taught me to actually go and set massive goals, and then, don't worry about how to get there. Just set the goal and then practice visualizing the goal every single day, and also make sure to write down the goal every single morning and every single night before you go to bed, and then surely it will happen. It will just come true. So the first goal that I set was $2 million by the end of 2018. And when I first set that goal, it was March 2017. So between then and a year and a half later, $2 million. And at the time when I set that goal, I had no idea how I was going to get there. But obviously, having just read The Secret and having just read Think and Grow Rich, I knew that this is exactly what I should be doing. The goal was realistic, but very, very, very optimistic. Almost unrealistic, to be honest, but unrealistic based on my old beliefs and thought patterns. For most people, to make $1 million in a year, it's just unrealistic. But if you can kind of accept the fact that it is possible, right? Making $1 billion in a year, probably not within a year and a half. It's not going to happen, right? But making $1 million in a year, especially nowadays when it's never been easier or a better time to actually start an online business, it's possible. So $2 million in a year and a half. And so I set that goal, and I remember thinking to myself, what do I do now? Like how in the world am I going to get there? And so I realized that, okay, I'm just going to start step by step. And so the first step that I took was I started breaking down the goal. So $2 million in a year and a half. How can I possibly make that kind of money? Well, 497 times 4,000, that's $2 million right there. At the time, I had no idea what I was going to sell for 497, but I knew that, okay, if I could come up with something that sold for $497, and then sell it to 4,000 people, that's $2 million, and I could do that in a year and a half. At the time, I was just getting started with my first online business, which was Amazon FBA, and I'm still involved in that business, and the things that I've done since then are much, much bigger than just that $2 million goal at the very beginning. But from that first business, I focused on first, but when I was making $0, when I was still stuck in my job and I was still going to work, I was focused on just making my first $10,000 per month, right? Because obviously, I couldn't just start thinking of okay, $497 product, 4,000 times. I just didn't have the skills, I just didn't have the knowledge, and I just couldn't see what I was going to sell and who was going to buy, like that. I just had no idea how to do it. So Amazon FBA was my first business. And with that, I built up my first e-commerce brand to 10,000 per month and then 20,000. It actually went up very quickly to 32,000 per month in revenue. And so after that, I kept growing. And then slowly I started adding on other online businesses. So the next online business that I started adding on was affiliate marketing. And I was doing that actually through my YouTube channel. I started making YouTube videos talking about entrepreneurship, talking about my journey as an entrepreneur, because I really wanted to help people. I thought that it'd be a lot more fulfilling to help people also reach financial freedom than just, selling products online and doing e-com. For myself, I just knew and I just felt that that was my destiny. And so I was doing that. And then I released a course called the Amazon Freedom course at the time. And that, $497, sold it 4,000 times in a year and a half. And from all of my online businesses put together, Amazon FBA, that course, and everything else, affiliate marketing that I was doing on the side, I made over $2 million in that year. So what was it that allowed me to go from nothing, go from working a 9-to-5 job that I hated all the way up to that 2 million in a year and a half, after I set that goal. What it was I, without even realizing, I chunked my goals down into bite-sized pieces to get there, right? So instead of just focusing on that 2 million, on that mark, I focused on breaking it down, and then I also focused on going step by step. So I'm going to show you exactly how this is done based on a 2-year vision that you set for yourself. And I made this 2-year vision, based on what most people want. If you're in the situation where you want to start an online business and you want to start making a great income, location independence, financial freedom, this will probably apply to you. So let's go ahead, get in there, and I'll show you exactly how to break down the goals and use goal chunking to predictably get there step by step. All right, so here we got an example of a 2-year vision. So right now, when I'm recording this video, the year is 2020. And in 2 years, it's going to be 2022. So as you can see, I created a fictional person named Mike Richard. And as you can see, he's going to be 27 years old in 2 years, 25 now. And his goal that he set for himself is $1 million per year in profit with his online business. Now, I know that sounds unrealistic. Again, we're not going to get into what's realistic, what's not realistic. To be honest with you, it all depends on your own beliefs about yourself and what you can accomplish. If you want to change your life, change your beliefs, change your paradigms. But I can tell you, $1 million per year profit online business, it's easy. It's not that hard. Seriously, just don't base yourself, on traditional 9-to-5 beliefs and the beliefs of average people. Like, it's 2020, there are so many people with $1 million businesses. And it's just, honestly, I'm not even going to get into the fact that this is achievable no matter what business you start, as long as you actually focus. So I made this as general as possible. I think that my audience and yourself, I think that you want things like location independence, freedom, traveling the world. You want to see amazing places, experience new cultures, and you also want to stay at the best hotels. You also want some money saved up in your bank account, so $100,000 in your bank account saved up. And maybe you also want multiple successful e-commerce brands. Of course, to make $1 million per year in profit, we're going to need to have some kind of business. So that's why I selected e-commerce, because that's the business that I personally became very successful in myself. And then I'm a lifelong learner, and I'm reading over 100 books every year on success, money, and entrepreneurship. Books have changed my life as well, and I highly recommend to everybody that watches my channel to set a goal for themselves. 100 books per year. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not. I mean, over 10 years, you read 1,000 books. Over 50 years, you read 5,000 books. It's not that much. I think my math is correct there, yeah. So I have an amazing physique, having trained with discipline for 2 years, being able to bench press. I didn't really finish there, but let's just stop here, right? It's not just money. As the famous Tai Lopez says, health, wealth, love, and happiness, right? I mean, that's what it is. So, and then I own a Ferrari convertible, and I'm driving down the coast of California. So, that's just an extra goal. I think all of us, especially when we haven't reached our first major success in online business, I think all of us have some kind of a car that we want or something material that we've always wanted if we had the money. And so, I pretended that Mike Richard, he wants a Ferrari convertible, and his dream is to drive down the coast of California. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how to chunk this down. So goal chunking, how do we do it? And remember, this is the technique that is used by billionaires, millionaires, every single successful person who has built anything of greatness, including Jeff Bezos, who built Amazon, the richest person in the world. He used goal chunking. And also, goal chunking was used by a man named Michel Latomo. It's going to be right here somewhere. But he actually used goal chunking, this exact technique, to be able to eat a Cessna airplane. And obviously, a Cessna airplane is not going to fit in anyone's mouth, in any human mouth, or in any animal's mouth, really. So what he did was he actually had the plane grinded down into a fine powder, and he sprinkled the powder on his food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so that's how he managed to eat the airplane. So it's a good analogy to think about. So our first goal is $1 million per year in profit. And we set ourselves a timeline of 2 years. So let's chunk that down. So $1 million per year in profit. If we do that per month, $1 million per year, if we divide that by 12, it is, let's see here, 83,000 per month. 83,333 times 12 is about $1 million. So let's just say 84,000 per month. So 84,000 per month. Now, we're obviously not going to get to 84,000 per month next month, right? So we're going to have to basically chunk that down as well. And it's easier to chunk down a monthly goal than it is to chunk down a yearly goal, I think, because we think in monthly income most of the time. So we have 24 months. Let's chunk 83,000. We just do 84,000 divided by 24. So that's 3,500 per month. So we have to increase our income by 3,500 per month in profit to hit that. You can use that as a profit or as a revenue goal. It doesn't matter. We can just simplify it and just say $1 million per year. So if we're starting today, that means in the next 3 months, we have to hit 10K per month, right? Because 3,500 next month, and then the month after that is going to be about 7,000, and the month after that it's going to be 10,500. So as long as we are moving up at that speed, we will hit that $1 million per year in profit. And we can also break it down even more. So 3,500, that's how much we have to increase our income per month. We divide that by 30, that's $116 per day. So we have to increase our income by $116 per day. Now, I know it sounds like a lot, but to be honest with you, it really isn't. $116 per day, it could be an extra product that you release on Amazon as part of your brand. It could be an extra digital product if you're involved in that business, if you selected, coaching or digital products or something like that as what you want to do, if you already have some kind of a skill. So we have to increase our income by about $100 every single day, and then increase our income by $3,500 every single month. Now, to increase our income by $100 every day, and remember, it's not like 100 today and then 200 tomorrow and then 300 the next day. It's $100 per day per month. So we just have to basically add one product on Amazon. For example, it sells at $10 profit per unit. That's the typical profit margin of products on Amazon. One product, e-commerce, $10 per unit, selling 10 units of that a day, 12 units of that a day. Obviously, it fluctuates. Some days it's 10, 20, right? That's an extra $100 right there. That's an extra $200 per day right there. Right? And if we have that selling 10 units every single day, between 10 to 15, let's just say, then we're at 3,500 per month. So just add on one Amazon product per month for the next 24 months. Obviously, as you grow your income, you're going to be able to expand much quicker, right? And the whole key is to focus on just breaking down that big goal and moving up in a predictable rate. All right, so the next goal that we have here, we're going to chunk it down, is Mike wants complete location independence and freedom. So we can also chunk that down as well. So let's think about how much money would it take to get location independence and freedom? Obviously, it's a money thing, right? That's what it is. You're going to have the time once you quit your 9-to-5 job. And to quit your 9-to-5 job, you're going to need to replace that with an income that will allow you freedom and location independence. So I would say that at like $5,000 per month, $10,000 per month in passive income, you have location independence and freedom. You can travel the world. So, it's a 2-year goal, and to hit $5,000 or $10,000 per month in profit in 2 years and 24 months, we already actually figured out a way to increase our income by $3,500 per month. So, it's really, really, we're going to reach location independence and freedom within 3 to 6 months here. So that's already done. But if you want, you can chunk it down, 5 to 10K per month within the next 2 years. We just have to increase our income by, if we're going to do 10,000 per month, let's just say on the upper end, that's a great income, that's 6 figures per year, and you're doing that without going on your 9-to-5 job. 10,000 divided by, there are 24 months. So we have to increase our income by $400 per month. And to do that, divided by 30, that's an extra $13 per day. So that's literally like one extra unit of a product sold. And we can do the same thing for the bank account. So let's say if we want $100,000 saved in the bank account, how much do we have to add in every single month? So if we want $100,000 within the next 2 years, $100,000 divided by 24, because it's 24 months, that's an extra $4,000 per month. So we just have to put away $4,000 every single month, and we will get to $100,000 in your bank account saved by within 2 years. Now, of course, when you're making 5K or 10K a month in passive income, you're not going to be able to put away 4K a month. That's a lot. Now, I don't even recommend like saving money. What I do is personally, I've got businesses that make much more than this because I've been doing this for many years. But basically, I just keep the extra money in the company bank account, because once you have a business, you have a company, and then you also have your personal bank account. I don't keep much in my personal bank account because I don't really have a lot of personal expenses, to be honest. So yeah, that's another goal right there. All right, so the next goal, 100 books per year. So that's 200 books in 2 years. All right, so 200 divided by 24, that's an extra 8 books per month, right? 8 times 12. Yep. So, not that hard. You can just go and set a few hours aside 4 to 5 times per week in the evenings, just regular. Consistency is the key. Most people, they can't stay consistent, and also they just get distracted. The biggest problem nowadays is also the social media craze. Like, everybody's always on Instagram. They always feel the need to like refresh their phone, to always like, just constantly be on Instagram, constantly be on Snapchat. Like, you don't need to do that. That is what's preventing you from setting a vision for yourself and really getting there. You'll see, if you allow yourself to be consumed by TikTok and all this other garbage, you're gonna not get to this, right? Of course, some people say social media, I need it for my business. I need social media for my business, right? I don't do much of it, but I mostly do YouTube. But the key is to focus. The key is to break down the goals, focus, consistency. I mean, it's just like going to the gym. If you can go to the gym 4 times per week and you do that for 2 years, you'll probably have an amazing body. Think about it. But most people, they just can't get consistent, and then they wonder why their life sucks, why they're miserable. If you could only apply yourself and focus, create this vision, apply what I'm saying, and take it as truth from someone who has been there, who has grinded, who has basically crawled through the trenches to get where I am today. Just accept this as truth, believe me. So there you go. Same thing. Do it for all of your goals, and you will see that suddenly your massive goals that you set for yourself will break down into bite-sized pieces, and it'll just be a lot easier for you to really get where you want to go in your life. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is how important it is to set goals that are actually true to yourself. I read an amazing book quite recently called Reality Transurfing. And in that book, he talked about how a lot of people, they set goals that have nothing to do with what they should go after in their life. So for example, if you're not meant to do online business, right, and you feel like you're forcing yourself to do it, then don't do it. If you're not meant to do Amazon FBA or Shopify, if you're not meant to do something, you can feel it. Don't force yourself to do it. Of course, you got to do stuff, in order to make money. You got to, for example, start an online business. It's one of the best ways to reach location independence today. But at the same time, make sure that the goals that you're setting for yourself are exactly in line with your destiny. So, for me, I just knew that I could reach that $2 million per year mark, or $2 million in a year and a half. So I guess that's over $1 million per year. I knew that I could reach that. And so because I knew, even though it sounded crazy, I did it. And so that's what I do for all my goals now. I set massive goals because I know I can do it, even though they sound crazy in the moment. And then I just break it down. Now, the most important thing I want to mention, imagine yourself standing in front of the mountain, at the foot of a mountain, and you're about to climb that mountain. And you look up at the mountain and it's absolutely massive. And you look at the top and you're like, how in the world am I going to get there? It will take weeks. It will take a very long time. So the best advice that mountain climbers are given is to just look at your boots. And that's exactly how you should approach your goals as well. Just look at your boots. Don't focus so much on the peak. If I focus so much on that massive goal of $2 million in a year and a half that I set for myself at the beginning, there'd be no way that I would have achieved it. I did a simple calculation, a simple breakdown of like, okay, how could I do this? Is it possible? Yeah, if I sell something at $497 times 4,000 times, I could do it, right? So I knew that it was within the realm of possibility, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to get there. So believe me, if you just focus on taking one step at a time, break down the goal, but then only focus on ascending that step by step, all those steps that we set. So remember, we broke down that $1 million per year goal of Mike Richards, and we said we have to increase our income by $3,500 every month, right? So if you can do that, if you can just focus on, let's say getting a new product every month up on Amazon, for example, or getting, a new product up and running for your coaching business or something like that, getting videos up on YouTube if that's what you want to do, adding something to your business that you've broken down and it meets that goal that you set for yourself, new clients, new customers, you will get there. Just focus on your boots. Don't look at the peak, just focus on the steps in front of you. And that's the best advice for life, to be honest with you. And one last thing is having realistic expectations. So, don't expect that you can reach $1 million in a month. It's just not going to happen if you've been living 40 years, 30 years of, in the 9-to-5 mentality, and suddenly you're so ready to become financially free that now you are going to become a millionaire in like a month. It's not going to happen. In a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, yeah, it's possible. But you have to have realistic expectations. And also, most people that give up when things get hard, they abandon when things get hard. Think about the war. Think about the wars that humans have fought. Think about all of the things that have happened. Today in society, we have it easy. So if you can just persist through these obstacles that you have, and these obstacles are not big, like having a failed Amazon product is not a big obstacle. Having a failed, losing a few $1,000s on a store that you've tried, that's not a big obstacle. You spend thousands of dollars anyway every month on drinking and buying clothes to impress other people. Maybe not you, but many people. So just keep things in perspective. Remember, humans have fought in wars. Humans have died over, crazy things. So just focus on the goal that you set, focus on the steps, focus on, the boots, focus on just taking one step at a time. Periodically look up at the peak, but then just keep going. That's all that matters. Keep going. Let me know in the comments below what that number one goal is that you set for yourself that is a huge goal, but it's still realistic. Put it in the comments down below. I'll respond to every single comment. I always try to, even though I get a ton. So if you want me to respond to you, if you have a question or something like that about this strategy, go ahead, leave a comment down below. Tell me what your number one goal is. Subscribe. I'll see you soon. Thank you.